Oh my god. I thought I was crazy. Seriously? No way. I'm literally shaking right now. I don't know. Whoa. Okay. Okay. That is. Okay, question. Do you know if animals would see her wings too? That's very important.
Yes, and many children see them too. About 75% of the world's children today are being born with etheric vision. And when your children talk with people and have daydream playmates, the chances are they are actually speaking to some of these people. Because these angels or angelic forces or nature spirits, as they're often called, will often make themselves seen.
And all of a sudden I hear him go, whoa, or, something like that. So I look up. And as I look up, I see this thing.
And I said, I've never seen a butterfly like you before.
I know that the paranormal is real. Listen.
As soon as I spoke to it, it turns around and makes eye contact with me. And then it stands upright.
And it was at that moment that I saw it was like an orange light appear above this row of trees. And from this sort of orange light, this thing appeared. Its wings were actually like sycamore leaf shaped.
And I started talking to them. I'm like, hi, are y'all the dwarves? And I would hear whispers that would say, hi, yeah, you want to play? And it wasn't just my imagination. And I had told them, I'm like, my dwarves, they like beer, And my dad's like, yeah, sure, your dwarves like beer. And they were holding a conversation, and his beer slid upwards instead of downwards, how the house was tilted. And him and my brothers jumped up.
So I stopped calling out Adam, and I'm just kind of, my mind draws a blank, and I stop behind that tree stump. I'm pretty close to it now because I took a few steps forward, and I see this thing.
Welcome everybody tonight to Fascinating Fae. Tonight we're traveling to the Great White North in Canada to talk with Percy. Percy, how are things going in Canada tonight?
They're going well. Thank you for asking. How are they going there?
I'm well in Costa Rica. Thank you as well for asking. I really appreciate that. Almost no one ever asks me at the start of the show.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry.
You know what? It's cool. The format of the show is the format of the show, and it helps it flow. So
That's fair.
I do it that way for a specific reason. I like it right at the beginning when you get to hear the person's voice who you're about to hear from. So Percy, if it's okay with you, as you know, I like to do a fairly standard intro at the start of my episodes. Can I take a moment and do that before we jump into your storytelling tonight?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, what I like to say at the start of the show is that we're not here to convince anybody of anything. This is a very important rule to Fascinating Fae because it frees the playing field to allow for what is actually happening to come forward free of judgment. The fairy subject matter, as I've said numerous times, can be difficult to digest for the uninitiated or the unexperienced. And even if you are like, quote unquote, a believer and experienced, there are layers to this fucking cake that you will never imagine are coming. And so we don't try to convince here on the show because it gets in the way of what is true. The second thing I like to say, and this one is especially true for you here tonight, Percy, it is brave to come on this show.
Thank you.
The wide ranging stories that have come through my door and onto this program take bravery, all of them. But certain stories, I think, take a little bit more bravery than others. And without teasing the audience too much, you know, you're extremely brave to come on the show, and I really respect and appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you doing this service for all of the people who don't usually have a big voice, you know?
Fairy subject matter is underrepresented in contemporary media as the real phenomena that it is. It's usually a fantasy depiction. So I do my part. I try my best. I am still as invested in figuring this out as I ever have been following what I saw in 2019. And the directions that this has taken my brain and my soul are unimaginable to the old me. So, you know, it's a gift that really at the end of the day, I receive the most value from, and I hope everybody else, you know, enjoys it too, but I'm doing it for myself at the end of the day.
We all get benefit from it, don't worry.
Well, I mean, that's hopefully true. But, you know, part of the reason I think that the show works as a show is because, you know, the knowledge people are contributing by telling their stories and firsthand experiences is just kind of laid bare, and you can draw the connections or you can't, but you kind of have to be an idiot to miss it if you listen to all of these people talking.
Yeah, especially if you realize the connections. You know, science is all about connecting the dots, so it's kind of sad how some people just don't really do that with some things.
Well, I mean, as a fan of the show and as now a contributor to the show, I think Ruby said it really well in her latest episode where she said we're kind of lighting each other's candles. And, you know, that idea of like, you know, helping illuminate or spark each other is something that I didn't anticipate would really come out of the show. I just thought I'd be talking to people that saw flying things for the next 5 years, but it's just gotten way more different.
Oh, yeah.
Percy, I digress. My goodness. Look, let me get back on the rails here. Third thing that I like to say at the start of episodes is that, you know, you here as my guest have my full attention, and I won't be interrupting you. I'm just going to really like listen to what you're saying and let you tell me exactly what's going on, at the end of which, you know, when you're naturally finished, or if you naturally pause or want to ask me something, you know, I'll obviously jump in and talk with you, but feel free to take your time here tonight. You've got a special thing to tell everyone, and I think it deserves a lot of space and time to be, you know, presented and understood. So with that said, I'm finished, and I'll say this. So, Percy, as you know, now is the time that I usually say, if you would be so kind, can you just sort of, you know, ease myself and the audience listening into what you've come here to talk about tonight, please?
Yeah, for sure. Just if you do have any questions, please ask. I want to shed as much light as I can, and to be honest, I don't even fully comprehend any of this myself, so maybe that could also help me, you know, come to the rest of the truths that I haven't really caught on to. Well, there's a few things. I don't really know where to start. I do know for a fact that I've always been a bit of an odd duck, if you know what I mean. I used to get bullied a lot, and I mean, in retrospective, I think it's mostly for the same reason that my brother would kind of be a little bit unsettled by me. I used to, well, to this day, I still now have regained a bit of this, but I will sometimes see orbs, and it's not just seeing something, it's half sensing it, half seeing it, and I don't know fully how to explain it. It's but it's kind of, you know, that feeling when somebody's watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of usually starts with that, and then it depends on the time. Sometimes it's when I was a kid, for example, I don't fully remember this, but I do have my mom telling me a lot about this, where I'd be laughing at things that I heard the Orbs say, but it was usually things. For example, there was a lot of kids, but like bullying me at school at that point. Maybe because I was a little weird, maybe because I was smaller. I don't know which one, but these these little orbs would sometimes tell me, "Hey, if this stresses you out, maybe you can climb a tree, or you can go find a teacher." And well, at first I kind of, you know, I just not fully understand what was going on because it's not really hearing something. It's more, it's another question again. I don't know if you know that feeling where you know that someone wants to get in contact with you or someone needs you to call them. Have you ever felt that?
I do know what you're talking about because, low key secret side of me that I don't really talk about is I'm like, deeply empathetic to my own detriment, and everything is too much for me. Just literally everything is too much for me. I mean, I
I
have
feel you. That's me.
right down to chemical sensitivities and electric sensitivities. I mean, just anything with a vibe, I can be overwhelmed by. So I do know that feeling, and I know that feeling of pressing or someone needing to make contact. I know exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I would feel back then. Like I I just started to try to like dabble in it again since I started, well, listening to the podcast. And um I have actually two experiences that are shared with people, but I was dating them at the time. I'm not really dating them anymore. It's just it's kind of how I prove to myself that I'm not really crazy, and that that it was not just me, because other people also saw it. Well, actually, there's three circumstances. The first one, there was this very, I don't think it was hunted, but there was something in this apartment. I think, I don't know. Maybe it was land that was taken from the native people from Guatemala, or maybe that was like a specific spot for them. I don't know what it may have been, but there was like a very strong energy. And at first I thought it was just me sensing it, but then I kind of asked my stepdad at the time and my mom and also my brother if they got any, you know, bad gut feeling, or like if they got goosebumps or something along the lines of that when they looked at this mirror that was sitting at the end of the hallway. And it wasn't just me. My mom couldn't even look at it, and she's not really a very superstitious woman per se. um I don't know what it was, honestly, but I do know that whenever I was in the room from that place, I was the one closest to the mirror. And these orbs were like the most abundant in this room, from what I remember. So I don't know why, but I think that they might be protecting me. Um,
Would you be seeing them in the mirror?
no, I never saw them in the mirror. That is one thing I am gonna say. Anywhere close to the mirror, they I wouldn't sense them, I wouldn't see them. It was just when I went into my room. And now that I think about it, they also wouldn't really go into the living room. Like they would follow me everywhere except that corridor and the living room.
I think I understand you better. Sorry, there was something unsettling coming from the mirror area.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not just me. um,
And when you got to your room is where the orb concentration was, and that you're feeling that they were there to protect you from perhaps this unsettling thing. Do I
yeah,
understand? Okay, cool.
I I think that's what they were doing at least, because I mean they would kind of visit me most whenever I'd get bullied to give me advice and cheer me up, and then they would just kind of like help me go to sleep. And
Yeah, hold the phone. When you said, I think that's what they were doing, the word doing did this like velvety EVP, which is
really,
really similar to a couple of velvety EVPs with Ruby's episode. And I got a hit with a whack of goosebumps. I think your intuition there might be quite correct. And that was a little signal that maybe so. Really interesting moment there. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just thought I'd tell you that. Yeah, when you say doing, it kind of stretches out. It's really interesting.
well, I know that someone's listening to me. I don't know who, but they just woke up my cat. Okay, it's nothing bad. He's back to sleep. He's good. uh, ooh, okay. That was yeah.
Yes, I'm feeling this too. Yeah, I know what you're not saying.
Okay, I think I cannot elaborate too much on that.
Let's put a cap on that one.
Yep. Um until the next one. um well, I I don't know if you might edit this part out or if you're keeping it in, but um I am polyamorous, and should I talk about that or should I just leave that out?
Honestly, whatever you think is relevant to building an understanding of yourself and your experiences is absolutely fine for the show.
Okay. Yeah, fair. Well, then I guess I'm just gonna kind of like get the cat out of the bag with this part. I've by me saying that I'm a little weird, I don't mean like I want to like not be the same as everybody else. I mean like since being a young girl, I did not understand the concept of girls like boys and boys like girls. It was just you love who you love, and if you love them, you love them. And also I don't know, it's I have this thing where I can't really keep quiet about things that are true. So I never really talked about myself in Guatemala because some people can be a little bit more judgmental over there, but I also believe that if two people love another person, then as long as everyone is in a mutual understanding and nobody's hurting anybody, that you know you should just do whatever makes everyone happiest and feel their best, like their absolute best, right? um well, my wife and we at some point figured out that I kind of have a suffocating amount of love to give. And she didn't want to stop being with me because, well, we just love each other that much. And she told me like I can't I haven't really been loved this much my entire life. So this much love, it it's a bit suffocating, and it hurts that I can't let you love me and you give me the love that you need and me give you the love that you need. But we kind of realized that I needed to have another way of showing love, or like another place to show my love, because the getting a cat wasn't enough. So we decided to look for a boyfriend. And well, the first boyfriend that we had, well, both boyfriends actually that we've had, neither of them believed in anything to do with spirituality when they met me. And I don't know why guys like that are kind of attracted to me, but something always changes when they date me. And I also don't understand any of this. But for example, the first guy, I told you, like, he was atheist from the day he was born, didn't really even bat an eye at the idea of the paranormal. He like would laugh at me the first times that I talked about it. But there was this one night that I came over to stay at his place, and he said that there was something going on because they're like all of the dogs of the place where we were at, they started going crazy, and they were howling in ways that, well, you know, it feels like something's off. You can tell something's not right. He kind of he kind of said, well, if you are a so-called witch, then do something. And I said, I can't really do anything to make it stop because I don't even know what's causing it. However, I could use my wings to try to see if that would protect us. And I actually took my wings out, and it turns out that the dogs stopped doing whatever they were doing, and the noises that were going all around kind of died down. I don't know why it happened, but you know, you can't explain everything that you experience.
This is a really fascinating story, and I know that you're feeling a little reluctant to share more details because it's quite an important detail that you've just shared there.
Yeah.
So I for the audience listening, I had the privilege of chatting with Percy, I think for several months really now, and I've had a moment to contemplate this. But for the audience listening that is just encountering this storytelling for the first time, tell me more about this second event involving your wings, and after which I'll ask maybe some more related questions. But if there's also anything more about this initial event with the dogs that, you know, your intuition, wants to bring forward, or any other details at all, please feel free to do so before moving on.
Yeah. About the details of the situation, all I know is that he went from being terrified of the situation to being terrified of me. I didn't mean for that to happen, so I'm kind of more careful of where I do energy work from then on. And yeah, about the wings, I don't really know how to talk about them fully. I don't do it often, but I do know that maybe some of you have felt it, but whenever I don't, I don't know how to explain it. There's a certain pressure on there had always been a certain pressure on my back since I was a kid, and I didn't really know how to explain it. And I mean, the doctors just said that it was tension or something like that, but I can't tell you how long ago it was, but maybe I think it was around when I was 15. I started getting deep into energy work. I couldn't I couldn't really leave the house I was in other than mentally. So I kind of tried to find peaceful places to go. And through meditation, I sometimes would visit my mom, who at the time I wasn't allowed to talk to through the phone. To make it clear, at that time I was in Canada. My mom is in Guatemala. But yeah, I would visit her. Uh, it's funny because sometimes whenever I visit her to this day, she will tell me that she had a dream of me, and she will literally describe to me what we did. So uh, it's at least it's nice to know that I don't just, you know, imagine things, and I actually get to spend some time with her, at least um, through her soul, right? um, but one day when I don't remember who I was visiting. I think it might have been my either my mom or my grandma, but I was visiting one of them, and I I just felt like that pressure wasn't it wasn't meant to be there, and like there was something I could do to make that pain go away. And so um have you ever oh Lord, this is hard to ask. Have you ever used your mind to visit places like that?
I've tried, and I'll admit that I'm not that successful at it.
Okay, sometimes you need like a guide. It's not your fault. I have a lot of spirit guides. I'm sure one of them helps me. um, but I do remember there was something interfering from me going to see my mom. I don't know what it was. I just remember that I really wanted to get past it so I could go talk to my mom or my grandma. It's a little blurry because it's just all I can remember after that is I remember kind of coming down into like a child's pose, but instead of like laying down on the ground, I was like um standing up straight per se. I just kind of like stood up in like a little cocoon bowl. I don't know how to explain it. And I just told my muscles to expand as much as they could. And somehow I felt muscles that I hadn't really felt before. And I don't remember the rest of that. I don't know why. I just remember feeling my wings. They were very soft. um, and they felt kind of like a blanket. Like like a blanket made out of water. I don't know how that makes sense, but um, it just it just felt like a home that I could carry. I I can't put it in any other words, to be honest. And like I said, this small piece, I can't really recall what happened to the creature. I just remember I felt the wings, and then I was with my mom. Actually, I just remembered. It was my mom. It was my mom. Because the next day, I actually asked her if she remembered any of it. And she said that she just remembered having a dream of me, but she didn't remember what it was.
This is a really fascinating detail that you're sharing about projecting yourself to visit your mom and then her later telling you in a dream the same things that you recall doing in your projection, that is extremely interesting.
I know every time it happens to this day, it's just I get all giddy and I am like, yay, I did it.
There's a lot of dream narrative stuff that's immediately coming to mind is Lynn's episode and recently Ruby's episode, in which they are encountering themselves in their dream state essentially as fairy. But just like you're talking about, in Lynn's case, other people will say, hey, you visited me in your dream, and Lynn remembers that dream, consciously being in a lucid dreaming, almost projected state. And other people that would have no idea she's having this dream, like contact her the next day or several days later to say, hey, I saw you in a dream. And the same thing with Ruby. And now you're telling me a very similar narrative with you and your mom.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if you're able to do that to others, if you so chose.
I've done it to my brother and, well, not blood brother, but my chosen family brother. And I think I used to do it as a kid, actually, because now I remember, oh shit. Now I remember there was at some point I was in 6th grade back in Guatemala. When I got sent back, I kind of went back a few grades because we couldn't really afford the paperwork for them to like transfer my grades from English to like translation things and all of that, right? So I went back to 6th grade and I had a best friend, and I just remembered I was trying to teach her how to create a parallel world through astral traveling.
Very interesting that you're involved in these pursuits.
Yeah, thank you.
Some of these concepts I'm trying to wrestle with now in my midlife, where like my life is half over, and so I've got to catch up to a lot of people that come forward here on the show.
Oh, it's just something that you feel drawn to. It comes to you when you are meant to hear about it, not a second before, because I feel like it could drive people insane if you understand before you're ready. That's what at least one of my spirit guides says to me all the time.
I'll take a quick moment and echo that, because I do talk on the show all the time about what happened with my friend DK. And,
Yeah.
you know, he saw and experienced these things that we talk about here on the show. And I'm reluctant to say, you know, it made him insane, because he wasn't insane. He was just deeply troubled and confused, as
Oh, yeah.
one would be, you know.
Yeah, I have a friend that like also I can like look, the other people in our friend group don't really understand what he's talking about, but when he like talks about it, I can hear the pieces of truth, and I can also like hear the parts where they're trying to wrap their brain around it, but it doesn't really make sense logically per se.
Something that doesn't get said enough is that intellect is a fragile construction.
And so is ego.
Exactly. The self is extremely fragile. And part of the weird barbed wire wrapped gift that the fairy phenomena gives to one who's experiencing it is that it's an existential crisis that's unresolvable. And any unresolvable parable is a nightmare for a deeply, you know, thinking or deeply feeling person.
A scholar.
Which I really think everyone who comes on this show fits that bill. There's a lot of super deep.
I realized.
Yeah, there's like I'm privileged because these episodes come out so well because of the quality of the brains of the people I get to talk to, all of whom are amazing.
Well, you attract what you are.
Well, that's a hell of a great way to give a compliment. I got to learn from that one. That's good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just honest. Of
Well, here
course.
we are, a bunch of people who belong in each other's company, as it were. So, okay. Well,
Yeah,
what I did there was to try to just help you relax a little bit because I know it's tough to talk about the wings and
it is.
talking about the dream part is definitely a valuable thing to seize on, but of course is not the most interesting thing you're talking about. Let's get back to the wings for a second here. I think if it's okay with you to help focus the conversation and give you some direction to work within to help with your storytelling. I know there's a couple of other times that the wings have, I guess, made their presence known or made an appearance. Would you share some more of that first, and then I'll start to ask some of my questions about them towards the end of that storytelling, if that's cool with you.
Yes, of course. Well, I will say I am even before I had heard of this show, I've always called myself a fairy. And well, one of the things I kind of mean by that is I kind of the same way that I have a different grasp of love than most people may have. I also have a different concept of humanity. I believe that, don't call me crazy, I believe that plants and animals and all living beings should have the exact same respect that humans get. And I will die on that hill. I don't care who tries to convince me otherwise. I will not change my mind on that. So I have two little babies. Well, cat babies. I have plants too. But one of them, her name is Snowball. She was the first one to kind of do this, but when she was a young kitten, she used to be like scared of a lot of things. We got her, I think she was 2 weeks old. Yeah, 2 weeks old. We got her, and she was not ready to leave her mom. So, of course, we had to feed her milk, and it was a bit of a difficult process, but she became very attached to us, and especially me, for some reason or another. And usually I'd have her around, and especially when I would meditate, she liked hanging out with me. And well, sometimes she would wait for me to be playing with my wings for her to sit right behind me. Maybe she liked the feeling of them. I don't know quite, but she would purr like nonstop, and she doesn't really purr much. So that is not really um explainable to me, at least, especially because she is, I'm not sure if she's half blind, but we do know that she's half deaf. So I do know that some of her senses are reduced, but she still, every single time, no fail, I'd be meditating and she'd be right behind me purring. Um, Now, my second kitty, Neo, he is super playful, way more playful than Snowball. Um, Actually, his whole name is Neo Corbin Faven. uh, I I made him a nice long name. I don't know why. He looked like it. Like he fit all of those names, so I couldn't decide. But every time that I am playing with my wings, he will swat at them. And most of the times, he just like touches them like twice and then like just goes back to sleep. But there will be times where he gets a little too excited, and then he will also start kind of like trying to bite us per se. So I've kind of had to put him in a bit of a timeout sometimes when I have them out, because he gets a little too in the playful mood. I don't know how else to explain it. He just looks like I give him catnip, and I don't really have that around, so I can't explain that either.
When he is making contact with your wings that way, do you feel it? Is a question that I'd like to ask.
The thing is, I feel it, but I don't know how to describe the feeling. No, actually, I think I just came up with a way to describe it. You know when your leg falls asleep? Not that moment when it's like it's tingly to the point that it hurts, but you know that moment when it's like half, the blood flow has already gotten back into it a little bit, so it doesn't hurt anymore, but it's still kind of like really tingly.
Yeah, I know it all too well because my legs are so fucked up. I wear compression stockings, so I know all
I'm
about
sorry.
not feeling your legs. But anyway, sorry, go on. I'm no no. I'm focused on your wings. Let's talk about that, please.
Okay.
But yeah, I know the feeling. So yeah, so that's okay.
Yeah.
So how does that It kind of feels like that, is what you're saying. I got you.
Yeah, it really does. Or like if you were to go outside in the cold for like a very long time and then try to touch your face.
It's really interesting because Rachel talks about her cat seeing one of these, like, for lack of a better words, thoughts as things or thoughts as entities,
Yeah.
and jumping up and like tackling it to the ground and dissolving it. And here you are talking about flexing your wings and your cats both perceiving them, which is extremely compelling to contemplate. What's up with
Yeah.
cats is really an important question.
That's why I love them. They see everything. They see through everything, I'm telling you.
I'll say as well, like, you have extremely gentle storytelling, but I'm riveted because I believe you. And I know that cats and dogs and other domesticated animals are not exactly rational creatures. So it's not like you're saying to your cat, hey, Bob the cat, I'm going to take my wings out now. The cat has no way of knowing that that is happening unless it is perceiving a real occurrence.
Yeah, that's honestly kind of why it baffles me, because even if I made like a noise, like a hint towards it, I'd say sure. But I don't. Like, I just sit there quietly and do my thing. Like, sometimes I don't even put frequencies on.
And so it's a consistent response behavior to the presence of your wings.
Yeah, there will be a few times where he's asleep and he doesn't react to it. Usually when he's awake though, he does react to it, like a lot. The one time he did react to it when he was asleep, I forget what happened exactly. I think I was kind of standing up for myself about something, and someone kind of didn't want to let me stand up for myself per se. So I kind of took my wings out to, bring out that confidence that I usually get when I have them out, and that did wake him up. So it might have something to do with, I don't know, maybe also like, I don't know. I don't even know with that one, to be honest. I'm trying to make logic of it, but
I think that when you listen to narratives about pets responding, which has come up a number of times on the show, it can always be like a subtle part of the storytelling mixed in with everything else people are talking about. But in your case, it just is so evocative as a through line to what Rachel was talking about with her cat. And now, among the many other things that have happened in my brain because of doing Fascinating Fae, I'm now low-key looking at every cat that I see on the street here in Costa Rica and wondering, like, what exactly what can it see about me, or what is it really looking at?
Yeah.
Percy, I know there was another time where I think it was another partner had experienced
Oh,
your wings. Would you be so kind as to tell that story as well?
yeah. So, yeah. The last boyfriend that we've had two. The last boyfriend that we had, actually broke up recently, but he was also, actually, he was more of the type of person to know that there's something out there, but not really care about it, because why would you, type of thing. um, I forget the term for it right now. Agnostic, that's the term. But yeah, he was agnostic, or sorry, he is agnostic, and well, not anymore. I am not sure what he is anymore. But the thing is, right at the beginning of our relationship, I was trying to like show him that there was something else that um, than just the things that you could perceive, because I realized that he was kind of needing a little bit of seeing through things that people were doing it. So I was trying to show him that there's a little bit more to life than just the things that you can immediately see. Um, so I tried to show him my wings because I knew that it worked last time. And it turns out that he not only sensed them, but okay, I might kind of shock you a little bit right now. I don't really speak of this much, but I actually have 3 sets of wings. Um, and the the first set of wings, I took them out, and he was like, "I feel something," but it could just be love, he said, because he thought that it was a little too subtle. So then I decided to take my second pair of wings, and he said that those ones were they were a little overwhelming, and he needed a second to process the fact that he could actually sense them, right? um, and with the third set of wings, when I took them out, he kind of didn't talk for like a minute, and then he just asked me, how did you find out that you had these, and um how. And well, I tried to explain to him as best as I could, and like I told him, hey, maybe you have a set of wings. And surprisingly enough, he did. um he had 1 set of wings, and he said that he sensed them coming out, and I am not going to lie, I did kind of, the atmosphere changed. And he was also doing like this very specific motion. I don't know how to explain it, but whenever I take my wings out, I need to do this motion with my back. I don't know, it feels like it helps in some way. um I don't know how to explain it, but I told them to do it and to like just try to make his back muscles stretch as much as he possibly could, and just relax them and let them flow out of his back. And he did it, and like it, I don't think he had feeling on the wings, but he felt them coming out per se. I don't know how to explain it. And well, he's a little, I won't really like say names or anything, but I will say that he he was a little shocked. I don't know if he's gonna ever go back to trying to play with those, or if what the deal is with him and them, but I don't know, it left a lot of questions, like if him, a person who didn't believe in it at the beginning of the night, was able to do it, then who else has this ability that hasn't even heard of it,
Okay. First of all, let me just take a minute and say thank you for everything you've shared. It takes a lot of bravery to share this kind of story, but your delivery is impeccable, and I'm fully fucking captivated by this. I have a lot of questions. As you know, Percy, there's never a gotcha moment on this show. So all of these questions are just because I'm curious, and don't worry if you don't have an answer to any of them. I don't expect you to have answers to all of these questions. These are just the ones that I'm curious about. Okay, to go back to this partner's questions, when did you realize? I think you said, your first memories were in your younger years, but my question would be a little bit more nuanced. When did you really finally accept and understand that you had these wings? Do you recall like that moment? What was it, a process? I'm just curious how it worked for you.
Okay. It was actually kind of weird. First, I found out about one set of wings after there was this weird encounter. I don't know how else to explain it, but it was wonderful with a psychic and a healer. She reached out to me through Instagram, and she said that, honestly, I thought it was a scam at first, but then I kind of did my research, and like she seemed legit, so I kind of like answered. But the thing is, she said something along the lines of, I would be honored to give you a cleanse and a few other things. I forget what it was, but she actually gave me a free consultation with her, and it was, I think, about like an hour or 45 minutes. And okay, if I'm not supposed to say this, cut out the audio for a second. But she works with a dragon. I won't say her name or their name, so that nobody ends up bugging her per se. But the thing is, she offered this session, and I accepted it. And at first, I was a little hesitant because I thought, how would an online psychic session work, right? But she called me, and she instructed me to like lay on the bed, and she showed me like what the schedule was, and she was honestly just doing a bit of a chakra cleanse. Chakra cleanse. So I kind of I thanked her for it, and I said sure. And then she said that she'd be working with her dragon, and it was weird. But when she told me that he was going to come over to where I was so he could help her work, I thought she was like pulling my hair. Like, I'm not going to lie, I really thought she was pulling my hair. But I felt...
Whoa, hold on. Your audio just cut out. Hold on. Just wait. We're not going to let that happen. Hold on. Can you say hello again, please?
Yep, hello.
Okay, you felt someone in the room. Go ahead again.
I am going to try to deviate a little bit as much as I can while still not leaving any questions. I'm sorry, but you heard them.
Yeah, that was fucking weird, but you just said cut out the audio if this is not supposed to be, and then
exactly.
And then it did. So congratulations.
Yeah, that's my life.
Yeah, but you just proved that they're directly listening. You just proved that.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, well, thank you. Cool. I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much else I can fucking sound like a broken record on this stupid show where I say the Fae are listening, they cut out the mic when they choose.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, that was a pitch right down the middle of the plate, and then you hit it right out of the park. And I just think you really did prove that point. But hold on, so let's just go back there because it's an extremely captivating moment you were at.
Yes.
She said she's going to send the dragon over, and then
Let's just say that, we helped each other out. Sorry. Yeah, my voice is breaking. Definitely not going to talk too much about that. But after the session, I do remember her. She told me something about awakening symptoms. She told me actually a whole list. It was a scary long list. And all of them actually happened. And it was, well, just odd to say the least. But to say the most, she really did. I don't know what she did, but that year, I felt amazing, even though everything around me wasn't going anywhere close to as planned. It was just, I knew I wasn't alone, But there's this one thing that she said that maybe you can help me figure out. Like she said it was an honor working for me, and she said something along the lines of not believing that she was working with me or someone like me. I can't remember the precise words, but she sounded, I don't know. She sounded very emotional about it.
you're tripping me out really well. Good job. It's the quiet ones that really are holding the most power, and you're no exception to that. Okay, sorry, I'm speaking out loud here, but those are my immediate thoughts. No, when you're talking about that, I don't know how to say this. I'll just say exactly what I want to say. Like, someone saying something like that could immediately like make my eyeballs roll back in my head and be like, what a conceited jerk thinking about themselves that way. But instead, as you were talking, what was actually happening was I was getting those like not so pleasant goosebump waves all over my body.
I know, me too. When she said that, because I'm used to being bullied. Like, people don't like ever treat me like this. Like, it's weird. Like,
Sorry, they're just not stopping. And I'm hearing in my head the phrase, the meek shall inherit the earth for some reason.
oh fuck. My I have something to say about like a physical trait that I've never been able to really understand. You know how there's like girls that kind of like modify their ears to be more pointy?
Sure.
I actually have points in my ears and they're natural.
The unsaid thing here, which I think is obvious, is that you're a fairy.
I think so.
I think I'm talking to a fairy tonight.
I don't know. I hope so. I never really related to a human, so well, until you and my wife, but
It's really, really interesting to talk with you, Percy. I'm trying to collect my thoughts. Sorry. For the audience listening, I'm usually pretty good. I got the hand on the steering wheel of this show pretty well, but in this moment, I'm just a little lost because I have an overwhelming set of emotions, and
now I'm tripping out because you're always cool and collected.
yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to say. Interesting.
Okay.
I really accept your storytelling at face value, and I think it's extremely interesting because I've wondered a lot if there are Fae incarnate.
I guess we just answered that, because me too.
What just happened there with the audio was a full-blown fucking trip. And I told you at the start of the show, Percy, I said, I have to watch the microphone now
Yeah.
because if it'll cut out. That's why we'll be able to leave that in the episode, because I was watching it when it happened. And it was exactly when you started to talk about who you weren't supposed to talk about, which you already knew. So your
Yeah.
intuition is correct. The technical effect of the phenomena is following you, which it really adds a nice piece of evidence to the hypothesis that the Fae are listening and they're intervening for better or worse in the show production process. So,
Yeah.
and then, okay, I've regained my composure.
No, I haven't. I'm actually, I don't know. You know when you get hit with something and then like everything's brighter and you
Yeah,
feel
I
like you
know.
just hit a doobie? That's me right now. And I haven't, I promise. Like I haven't in a long time.
I feel that sometimes when I make this show, I'm like high for 2 days afterwards. And right now, I feel like I could just lift off the bed. So I am right there with you. And I'm really happy to hear that you say that too, because I would be surprised if not. But that's coming
Yeah.
that's coming from you though tonight. Just to be really clear, this is your contribution reflecting back to you. So,
Oh, thank
and
you.
I hope, and I really believe there's a ton of people listening tonight that are gonna like, go try to flex their wings because they fucking know they've got them all along. And you are doing a huge look. See, I'm getting hit with goosebumps even as I talk. It's so funny. You're gonna help a lot of people out here tonight, actually.
I hope so. I really do.
Yeah, the quiet ones, the ones that get you.
Hey, I'm trying to get into singing because I've gotten too many times that they like my voice, even though I'm self-conscious about it. But I love singing, so hey, let's just do things that get us out of our comfort zone and, you know, help us and others as much as we can. That's all we can do.
You have a wonderful voice, as I've said a few times when we were starting and we were getting the audio levels right. And as I just contemplate everything you've shared about yourself tonight, your sort of feeling of never fitting in, that sense of like overwhelming amount of love to give, wings that both animals and people can perceive, and the obvious like telekinetic effect you just had on the audio that we were producing is all a deeply compelling bit of narrative. And I just feel like, I just feel like that what you're saying in your understated way is extremely powerful to contemplate. Let me ask you questions about your other sets of wings. So how did you then go on to learn that you had a second and third pair? Would be my next question.
Okay. So the first one would have definitely been with I told you when I was I didn't say where I was, but I was living at my dad's at that point. I Yeah, those were I can't describe them any other way other than they're kind of like angel wings. They look like, but not exactly like angel wings. They kind of look like, fuck, I can't explain it to this day. It's they're I know they're taller than me, but I don't know by how much. I just know that they can completely encompass like surround me if I like move them the right way. Um I I don't know how to explain the texture other than, well, I already kind of tried. Yeah, like a kind of
Do
like
you, do you like have them out right now? I can't explain to you what's going on my end of the line here. Like I'm,
okay. Oh,
I can feel that.
Um,
I can feel you very intensely. My goodness. We just breezed past that important thing too about like the woman saying she was honored to work with you. That's an important aspect as well. Something that also has come up with Lynn, Ruby, and others.
Really? It's not just me?
No, not whatsoever.
Oh my god.
Hey, boy, this. Go on, keep describing them. Sorry, I think you had them out there. I think I could feel them through the.
I'm playing with them, trying to describe them.
Yeah, I know you are. My goodness.
Okay.
Okay, Percy. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know you could feel it.
Not.
um,
Please carry on. I need to shut my mouth.
no, you don't. Trust that you're helping. It's making me feel less crazy talking about this. Okay. So for these ones, they're kind of like okay. Imagine like those comforters that have like feathers inside of them.
Yes.
Imagine that feeling, but if it was each feather, and they're not like thick like that. They just have that feeling of like softness and richness, but they're like, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It
If
feels like
you
a
could
blanket.
only understand, like I can. What is going on here right now?
All right.
Fuck.
That
You don't
was
even have, you almost don't even have to describe them because I can tell you that I pretty much can feel it.
well. That's
Fucking
cool.
wild. Fucking wild.
Yeah. I was wondering if people could feel them through technology, but I guess that answers my question.
Fucking wild. Holy crow. Oh my God, I'm swearing like a sailor to a fairy. Jeez, I gotta watch my mouth here. Sorry, I'm blown away.
Okay.
No, not only is it really fascinating that like Lynn, Ruby, yourself would have. It's interesting because in Lynn and Ruby's case, it was a dream, or like in Lynn's case, she has dreams where people like bow down to her, and in Ruby's case, she had a like a vision, not a dream, but like a real sighting, where the same thing happened, and the message both times was like, no, like we bow down to you, like we are happy and lucky to work with you. And both Lynn and Audrey are like, what the shit? Like, I'm just me. Like, what are you talking about?
Are they also like humble? Like, do they try to like
100% unassuming, humble, no, not even the slightest bit of conceit.
Oh Lord.
I wish I could say the same. I come off like a fucking conceited
No, you
jerk on this
don't.
show all the time.
No.
You know what?
No, you don't.
Well, thank you for saying that. But sometimes I just getting excited, I think I can just sound excited, and that can be taken the wrong way. But
Oh no.
there is a real genuineness to you, to Audrey, to Lynn, to Hannah, to Danielle, I mean, there's been too many episodes. I can't really name everybody who I feel this special kind of quality of goodness to. And it's manifested in humble, kind of tendencies, but also like in just a straightforward. Look, any person who's describing having wings is going to have a hard time doing it. And the fact that you're doing it in the way that you're doing it is extremely compelling. And then, of course, like my reaction to what just was going on there is bananas.
Well, I'm glad that you could sense it, and it actually gave me some evidence, because I am so based in like science and studying and proving things right or wrong and all. So like, if I get more proof of like me not being crazy and it actually being something that happens, I take that proof, I take that evidence, and I will I will keep it, because yeah, there's a lot of things that happen that are not very. People don't believe me until something happens and they're like, whoa, wait, what? You were right? And I'm like, well, I did try to say it, you know?
Huh. Percy, I do my very best to make this show as honestly and as authentically as I can, for good or worse, and that might include my hubris at times. So it's an authentic pursuit, this whole affair. When I feel a weird goosebump wave, I say it on the show when it happens. I often do. And if I don't, I don't.
That's fair.
And there's no in between with me. And what just happened there was beyond the pale for me. That's like, I mean, I remember when the glasses moved when I first talked to Danielle back in season 22.
I remember that.
Yeah, that still to this day makes me uneasy to contemplate. And I truly have grown to love Danielle, but I'm still low-key terrified of her. And you are hitting me with the same kind of...
Oh no, not another one. I don't want to scare you guys.
Terrified is not the right word. It's just overwhelmed.
Okay, good. Well, not good, but it's not scared, so at least better.
Look, it's safe with me because I just do this full time, so I'm okay. Like if, you know.
True.
But I could understand, Percy, how like a dude that you're just seeing, encountering this for the first time, who isn't like the Fascinating Fae host, for example, might be 10 times more overwhelmed than even I am right now.
The dating pool is hard for me.
I mean, you're walking around with an incredible gift and power in your small, quiet self.
Thank you. Yeah.
Why does that make perfect sense, though? When I say that out loud, that just seems exactly like how it should be.
Yay, fairies for the win.
You know, Percy, I just looked and I realized we've been talking for a little more than 2 hours.
Oh, Jesus. Really?
No, that's fine. It's fine. The time flies on Fascinating Fae, truly. But this is usually the point where I say to my guests that I could talk to you forever, which is true. But out of respect for your time and the audience's time, you know, I try to keep my episodes around that 2.5 to 3 hour mark. I could easily see myself affording you a 3 hour episode because of the deep fascination I'm holding inside about what I just felt and what you're telling me.
Thank you.
But this is just a humble podcast and doesn't have all the time to explore every aspect of everything. So let's mosey it along. But before I do, 3 sets of wings is remarkable. When you have them all out at the same time, is that a thing? Like, can you have them out simultaneously, or do they come out kind of one after the other, or one in place of the other? I'm curious how it works.
Honestly, it is kind of odd. I can take them out like singularly or all together. It's not something that's restricted, I don't think.
You feel them wrap around you, which you described beautifully, like a blanket made of water. But just so that I'm clear, you kind of feel them come like all the way around you, like a hug. Does that make sense?
When I need them to. Usually I do that when I feel unsafe. I kind of cocoon myself with them.
And you can also have them extended, it sounds like.
Usually I have them extended because it kind of does feel, it hurts a little bit if I keep them either not out, or if I keep them contorted for too long, my back does start to like hurt. It feels very uncomfortable. So I just, I usually just do it to make me feel better.
So when they're in, you can feel that, and when they're out, you can feel that. What is the feeling like? Is it feel like an extension of your body? How do you perceive it? I'm really curious.
That's a good question. Honestly, it kind of feels like a part of my body, but it's odd. It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it.
I don't blame you, but if that's a part of your body, whatever you are is deeply, deeply intriguing because, I mean, I don't know how else to really say this without sounding like we're just a pair of delusional people chatting here on a Saturday night.
I feel you.
But I mean, I could like, I could fucking like see and feel your wings as you were talking.
Seriously?
About them. Not just in my mind's eye, but almost as though I was standing at your back and they were just opening up in front of my face.
Holy
it was
shit.
Fucking weird.
No way, it worked. I was, okay, I'm getting better. Okay, I did not know I could do that. I was trying to help you see it, but I didn't realize you could you would or could see it too. It's
whatever was happening there was breaching the threshold of just my mind's eye. I'm not joking.
Hey, I'm getting better.
Okay.
Sorry, did I freak you out?
In the best way possible.
Okay.
So don't worry about it. That's why I sign up for this.
Well, not sorry
ride.
then.
But yeah, let's quote Taylor Swift. Sorry, not sorry.
That's Demi Lovato.
You know what? You're so right. I just got pop culture owned there.
I swear, you're amazing.
So. Fuck. It is Demi Lovato. I know that too.
I know.
I'm a huge girl singer fan. Like, if anyone actually like found my phone and checked my playlist one time, they'd be like, "Oh, let's try to get this phone back to this like 14-year-old girl," because it's all like Katy Perry, Taylor Swift, Demi Lovato.
Yes.
It's funny.
Another thing we have in common. There you go.
I'll tell you what it is for me. I just want like a nice sounding girl singing in my ear rather than some dude screaming at me. I don't know what it is.
No, that's fair. Like I like soft music. To be honest, if the music is about love or about healing, I'm all in. If it's not, then don't even.
Music is an incredibly important part of integrating understanding, and if you've been listening, you know that I put my friend DK's songs at the end. All of his songs are about encounters and etheric vision. All of
Yeah,
them.
now that's amazing. That is that's music at its finest right there.
I had no idea what those fucking songs were about for 15 years until I saw a fairy, and then all of a sudden see, I'm getting goosebumps now.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I realized what they were. And now when I put them at the end of episodes, I just sometimes I'm like, oh God.
It was right there and you didn't see it. For how long?
Not only that, but like I probably could have sat him down and done 50 full episodes just talking to him about what he saw. I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah, probably.
The overwhelming degree to which he was connecting is what made him essentially question his sanity, and questioning his sanity with no one to hold him in space that he wasn't crazy led him to take his own life.
Well,
just as simple as that.
Thanks to you, no more, right? You're literally making a huge change here. Like, you don't even understand.
I'm trying my best to work my way through my own fucked up guilt about it all as much as anything as I do this show. So,
Hey,
you know,
don't blame yourself. There's things you can't really change and things that you can only really learn from and go forward. Like, there's my fair share of things that I regret, but we can't just live there. The only way that we're going to make it better is by actually making it better,
That's really wise. And I like to think that I'm over the guilt about the thing itself, but the thing that lingers with me is my guilt of not understanding. And of course, how could I have understood? I was uninitiated. I never saw or experienced anything myself.
But now you know, right?
Right. And like when you know something too late, it's the worst kind of heartache.
I know, believe me. It is hard. I'm sorry that you have to deal with that.
honestly, talking with you tonight is extremely helpful and healing, because rather than having buried my mentally ill friend, I realized it was like he was a visionary and he was great and he fucking really knew. And it just totally reframes the narrative in my head about what was going on with him. And the more I talk to people, especially like yourself, who give me those feelings that I thought before were exclusively reserved to contact with Fae, talking to you is like contacting a Fae. I'm having a fairy encounter right now tonight, live on air. I'm not joking.
I'm glad I'm one of them, because you don't understand how many times someone has told me you're a human, and I'm like, no, stop, no, I'm not. Ah. I guess I understand now why.
I just have to laugh at myself because I'm the least well-equipped person to be doing this job or to be
No,
having
you're
this
not.
conversation.
Hey, you're perfect, because like you are like far away enough from it that people who aren't inside of it can get interested in it, but also enough for people who have experienced it a lot more can come forward and be like, hey, you're talking about it, like I think it's my time to talk about it too.
Huh. Well, we all find ourselves where we're meant to be.
Exactly.
If the world is as I think it is, which is a deep interwoven illusion.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
Well, I've said all the time, we're not here to convince anyone of anything, but I hope, at least for yourself, this is extremely validating experience for you,
Oh, yeah.
as it is for me. Yeah. I'm still having trouble swallowing, and I honestly feel like I took a fucking eighth of mushrooms. I am like just in the weirdest vibrational state, which is why I'm not doing such a great job of hosting the tail end of this episode, but I'll get this back on the rails here. I'll do my conductor job. Okay, well, Percy, that's enough questions about wings tonight, only because I don't think I could handle you describing them anymore. I'm just going to get too blown away.
That is fair. I don't want to hurt your brain. We need that to continue discovering more facts.
You're remarkably understated, and that belies the depth of this story that you've shared tonight about yourself. It's one thing to see a fairy. It's another thing entirely to realize you are one and you have wings.
Yeah.
And that you can make other people feel them. It felt like a snowstorm of like loving it. Look.
Well, I am the incarnation of love after all, so I would hope so.
Wild. Okay, well, fairy. Well, fairy, that's so funny. I just called you fairy.
You called me fairy.
Percy.
I heard that.
Yeah, there's a Freudian slip if there ever was one. Percy.
Yeah.
What do you think fairies are?
I I think, honestly, I just think that there's not one singular type of fairy, the same way that there isn't just one singular type of human and animal. So I think it's more something we need to ask ourselves personally, and ask whatever encounter we may come across, rather than just try to explain all of them with one singular concept. I feel like that is a little too small of a box for something that doesn't fit in one.
Quality answer, and like so understated given that I'm talking to a fairy. Sub question and related question.
Yeah.
In like season 1, as I'm always going, I think they're us. They must be us. Somehow I think they are us. Were you just listening to those episodes going like, fuck yeah, Jim?
Yes, actually, matter of fact, every time that you did say something like that, I assure you, I was dancing, I was jumping up like, yes, please tell me he's right. Come on.
Oh my. Oh my. What an adventure tonight's episode has been. Truly,
Thank you so much
Percy.
for this. Yeah.
Okay, well, I am not down from that high. I think everyone listening can probably still hear it in my voice.
I can
But
tell.
I'm gonna,
I'm glad.
for that reason, amongst many, I'm remiss to shut her down tonight. But, we've got to keep that respect for everyone's time in mind because this is just a podcast. Is it okay with you? I'll do my sign-off stuff if I can muster the wherewithal, and then it's going to be your last word after that. Is that cool with you?
For sure.
Okay, well, tonight you've been listening to Fascinating Fae, and I think I remember I'm your host, Jim. My mind is like wiped clean of everything I thought I knew before I started this call. So, I'm definitely still Jim, your host.
Are you sure?
If you, definitely sure.
Okay, well, if you say so, Jim.
Though, if I found out tomorrow that I was secretly a fairy, I might not be that surprised anymore.
Hey, maybe try to stretch them out tonight.
Oh, wait, that reminds me of a question I was supposed to ask. So thanks for helping me do that. How does that motion work? Tell me as best you can what it looks like for the audience listening that might want to try it.
Okay, you know how? Okay, honestly, copy a bird. Look at how they move their shoulders. I know you can't really see their shoulders, but really try to look at them. Like you kind of slide like a shoulder down, and then you like slide it up, and then you do the same thing with the other one. Like, you know what I mean? You bring it down closer to your chest, and then you bring it up closer to the back of your head.
It makes total sense. You kind of bow your back and then back again.
Yeah.
I get it. And they just come.
Yeah.
Catch that mustard man.
Okay, well, thanks for giving a extremely brief and not enough depth of an answer to that complicated question.
You can just always talk to me whenever you want. I'll be right there.
I just mean more as a joke because I could probably talk an hour about how to unfurl one's wings.
Okay, yes, I see what you mean. Sorry. Yeah.
Not to detracting from your offering there. It was great. Just we're getting to the end here, so
yeah, for sure.
Mostly apologizing to the audience that we won't ask more than anything. Okay. Well, like I said, I'm Jim, and I'm pretty reasonably sure of that at this point. Your host. If you'd like to come on the show and talk to me about your wings, then you know where to do it. It's encounters@fascinatingfae.com. Also, shoot me a DM on any social, Facebook Messenger, Instagram, all that stuff. If you want to talk to me that way, I'm open to receiving communication that way as well. And with all of that said, I'll say this. Percy, on behalf of all of the human and non-human listeners tuning into Fascinating Fae tonight, a super big thanks to you for coming on the show all the way from Canada. Thanks for being on the show tonight. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.
Thank you to you too. I really appreciate everything that you're doing for, science.
Well, Percy, thanks for that. I do think it's a scientific pursuit. And
I agree.
With that acknowledgement under the carpet, what would your last words be tonight, if you'd be so kind?
Well, you put it perfectly, actually. I'd actually like to ask of everyone to be kinder to themselves and to other people and creatures, regardless of if they can feel or not, because you never know.
As I look up into the sky, I see it, I feel it forming in my mind. Something like the time when I stood upon the mountain and I looked over the world and down upon the valley below. when I think about the hands of time ticking, they're clicking and sticking in my brain. I've got to maintain this eternal flame, add a link to the chain, but don't avoid the rain. Just tears from the sky, the guy who's seen me cry. He's seen me live, he'll see me die. He hears my call, he knows it all. He's seen me rise, he'll see me fall. Just don't ask it all. This is me, this is what I see, and this is everything I'll be, and this is all that goes on inside my mind. With what you've heard, don't say a word, because I am not yet mature. And if you don't understand, then rewind. With the strength of a charging train, or even a raging hurricane, it'll rush through my veins, but I feel no pain. Keep it going till my dragon is slain. And as the moon draws the tide, through my life I'll glide and toss the devil aside. Please don't break my stride, or we might collide. Like a sultan from the sea I'll rise. My word is clear and it tells no lies. So when you jump for joy, know that I am near. I'm on your side and your road is clear. So never fear. This is me, this is what I see, and this is everything I'll be, and this is all that goes on inside my mind. With what you've heard, don't say a word, because I am not yet mature. And if you don't understand, then rewind. This is me, this is what I see, and this is everything I'll be. This is all that goes on inside my mind. With what you've heard, don't say a word, because I am not yet mature. And if you don't understand, then rewind.